Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. So in this video I'm going to be going through the latest Ultimate Challenge. I've left this video a little bit late. There's only 5 days left to attempt this, so this is more going to be an emergency guide for anybody who still has yet to take on the Ultimate Challenge and complete it. If you're just struggling or want to get through the stages as quick as possible, I know there's some people that have just returned back to the game, so yeah, we'll see. But basically, as always, with the first stage, we're going to go ahead with the Ginyu Force team. It's the most reliable team that you can use. They always clear the first stage, so nothing really too crazy here. I know there's been a swath of new content released for the game. Basically just going to release a whole ton of videos that I did over the Christmas period. I'm not too much on optimizing the whole YouTube algorithm or whatever, so I'm gonna just basically upload as many as I can in one go, which may be a bit spammy, but I mean, at the end of the day, I just kind of want to get the stuff out and make sure that, you know, you guys have them and can use them, and then, you know, I've at least done it, it's on the channel and people can reference it if they need. But yeah, basically in this one, nothing too special about Nappa. Never really is, so we're just going to clear him out with the Ginyu Force squad. I did actually fail this the first time that I did it. I accidentally used the incorrect team against Pycon, which means I didn't have my 2 teams for Jiren like I usually do. So I ended up actually whiffing the first time I did this challenge. So it is what it is. Sometimes we all make mistakes, so it's not too much of a problem. Nothing that I'm too concerned about, at least. But yeah. So as you can see, as always, Ginyu Force team, nothing too crazy, nothing really going too wrong here, nothing that's, you know, causing us issues or giving us any problems. So yeah, nice, easy, quick, clear. The LR Ginyu Force, quite ancient now, with LR EZAs coming out. I don't know if maybe the Ginyu Force themselves or the LR will eventually get an EZA. So I would keep an eye on them. I think they're in line for an EZA. I think, you know, you could give all the Ginyu Force units an EZA and then use them for an EZA area, which would be pretty good. The physical one is definitely in for an EZA. So yeah, definitely going to want to go through that. I'll have another video up which also releases my thoughts on the banner. In terms of Demon King Piccolo, he grants immunity to being stunned, he nullifies the sealing effect, and he'll randomly seal a character. But he's not too tough, he doesn't reduce damage as much as the other characters, and he doesn't hit very hard. So we're just going to rock the Extreme Tech team. I'm going to use this new World Tournament Demon King Piccolo. So we're going to see how that goes. He should automatically transform because Demon King Piccolo is a Dragon Ball Seekers unit, which is going to make him a lot better. There's a new World Tournament coming out on the 31st of December. For those of you who don't like World Tournaments, unlucky. It's going to be the same format as always. I think that'll probably be one of the next things they eventually revamp when they come around to it. And yeah, nothing too crazy. It's going to be pretty straightforward, pretty easy. We're going to have this Demon King Piccolo and this another shot at getting him, so that'll be your second dupe. If you're like me, you obviously want to push and get the second dupe with Demon King Piccolo. It's really going to make him a lot better for Extreme Tech SBR. It's also just going to increase his performance just in general. And obviously, how about that Namekian team that we all know is struggling. So yeah. There's also on Japan a new Prime LR that's coming out. That Prime LR being the, I think it is Babidi and Buu, and it's going to link very well with the Battlefield Babidi and Deborah. So yeah, definitely you want to keep your eye out for that as well. All of them are going to link up very nicely. As you can see, Demon King Piccolo just basically did this transformation, which is very, very nice animation. He's much better when he transforms. He has his damage reduction permanently, he gains additional, and he gets extra attack per orb and everything like that. So he becomes much more viable a unit. Unfortunately he was sealed here, so we didn't really get to see like an attack stat or anything from him. But yeah, overall, very good unit. This cell also still a good unit. You can get him with the redstones that have just come out, so definitely don't overlook that cell. I've used him for Extreme Tech SBR as well. I've used him for Androids SBR. He's just very good, basically, very reliable. So now we're on to the next stage. Start with the Goten. This is, you'll see I screw up here with the PyCon fight, so just keep that in mind. Here's the Goten. Reduces damage, he attacks multiple times, but he can be sealed, which is obviously, you know, a part of that. Yeah, he disables defensive reduction and he can be sealed, so that's obviously pretty good and super helpful. What we're going to do is we're going to rock the transformation boost slash 90% and the 120% Omega Shenron lead. Yeah. And basically this team is just very reliable. This extreme strength team is super reliable. They're going to eventually bring out the EZA for the extreme strength Janemba, which is going to make him very, very good. So that'll also be super helpful. I don't even have a copy of him, but I might look at getting a copy of him eventually because he's just so I mean, in Janemba is so helpful, so the strength one is going to be so helpful. There's a new Janemba out and a PyCon card on JP, so that's also something to keep an eye out for on global. Obviously coming down the ways. A lot of people ask me what's going to be next on the banners. We're probably going to be looking at the Resurrected Frieza. I would wager a guess that that's going to be the unit that we're going to look at. So yeah, just keep your eyes out. We'll probably go Resurrected Frieza, then Gogeta, or maybe Jiren in between. We might go straight into Jiren after this, but it would be a lot of LR banners in a row. But I mean, they did do that on JP, so it's not unusual. So yeah, we'll just see where we're going from here, but definitely we'll have Resurrected Frieza before we have Gogeta, at least Resurrected Frieza and Jiren, or Resurrected Frieza or Jiren, I would wager, before we have Gogeta SS4. So if you are low on stones, if you've run your discounted multis on this new Christmas banner, this Tanabata banner, then you know, definitely can look at bringing out that stone count and going from there. But yeah, so that was Goten, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. Again, none of these fights until the third round really are too hard. You'll see me screw up here with the PyCon, which is where I, you know, screw up the whole thing. Or did I screw up on this one? Or did I edit that footage? I think this might be the edited one. So yeah. But yeah, pretty straightforward again with PyCon. A lot of these fights, nothing too strange. Most of them reduce attack and defense reduction. Like in PyCon's case, he's not really stunnable, so I'm just going to have to blitz him out of the water. But with the way the whole system works, your mono teams are always just going to be your best point of call. And obviously you can keep a reserve side like Peppy Girls or whatever your strongest reserve team you can make out of your non-mono teams. For most people it's Peppy Girls, so yeah. This cooler level 10 Lynx, you'll see him really perform well in the Wicked Bloodlines SBR video that I do, with level 10 Lynx all over the place. Even without his EZA, he's just looking really, really good. And yeah, he just does a ridiculous amount of damage. This Broly is also going to come in at the back line, do a really good amount of damage. He gets his whole situation going on from there. And then yeah, basically that's how it's going to be. Nothing too crazy again with this one. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. If you've got the units, should be okay. Try to minimize, like I say, using some of the LRs. In my next Ultimate Challenge video, I will be changing the format a bit. I will start implementing different units, whether that's different normal units or whether that's different throwing in 1 or 2 summonable LRs. The main reason being is I've done 2 now, where it's just basically type rotations. So when it's just type rotations, the whole point in like doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, it'll help you, but it's also just not going to change too much. So what I'm going to do instead is, if the next one is also Jiren and Co again, I will just use probably my normal teams, just so you can get a look at that. And then obviously from there, if there's, you know, a individual one or a special edition or whatever, I'll revert back to the ruling of not using summonable LRs, etc. Just because it'll obviously then help you get through the new one. But yeah, in terms of Babidi, we know this fight, he basically perma-seals you, so you can never ever special attack unless you activate giant form. So basically our main aim here is just to nuke him down. I do skip the majority of this fight simply because of how ridiculously boring it is to watch. There's really nothing to it. You basically just hope for crits or additionals. Make sure your 2 strongest attackers are in 2nd and 3rd slot, because he can super sometimes, which will stun your attacker. If he does it before they attack, you're going to be losing out on damage. So rather make sure that your strongest attackers are in 2nd and 3rd slot, and just basically go from there. Yeah, this fight's pretty boring, so you'll just see like the first round, and you'll see me cut the footage and skip to the next one. So yeah, pretty boring. Pretty like not necessary, pretty I don't know, I find this fight to be constructed poorly in terms of its intricacy or its interest. There's just no real challenge to it. It's just basically whittling down someone over like an extended period of time, which isn't, you know, exciting to me in any way. It doesn't really make me feel like I want to do the content. So yeah, I'll cut here and then we'll jump back in on the final round. But yeah, so here we are, we've cut the footage. As you can see, about to finish off Babidi, just collecting all the orbs, and then he's going to hit Hercule, who's going to come in and do the finishing blow. Yeah, so that's 2nd round done. Now we're on to the 3rd round, where things are actually quite complicated. So obviously we're going to want to just keep an eye out for that and start the 3rd round, which will be where things get a little bit interesting, of course. So yeah, 5 minutes for that entire fight, so I basically cut out like 4 minutes of footage, which is why this video is closer to 30 minutes instead of 40 minutes like it usually is. Yeah, so here we go, we got Majin Buu, pretty good. He, again, also a secret to Majin Buu is you kind of want to get a stun on him. That's going to prevent him healing. You're going to want to seal him. He does do super attacks, which can cause quite a bit of damage. You're going to want a rainbow orb generator so that you can take out his candies, or you're going to want one of the Halloween units that removes them. But yeah, basically key to this, getting the stun off, is what's really going to help you, because if you can stun him, you can basically stop him healing and dishing out damage. Otherwise, getting the seal off is going to be the next course. Majin Buu's can be a 1 or 2 ways fight. He can sometimes be 7 minutes, he can sometimes be 1.5 minutes. It's really going to depend if you get that stun or not. B-Pan can stun, the SS3 Vegeta can stun, so they're going to be your main sources of stunning. And yeah, the candies cause a problem, and then that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy in this fight, nothing too nuts. You're going to want to keep B-Pan on rotation for the heals, because this fight can get long, and you're going to want some kind of sustain. Especially if you don't get the stun off, it's going to be a problem for you. It's going to cause you a headache or 2. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. And yeah, just kind of build your team around that. Stunning, sealing, doing that whole spiel. It's really going to help you out. And yeah, but going from there, there's not much more to, you know, keep in mind or to focus on. Majin Buu himself is probably one of the harder fights if you can't get this kind of strategy of generating rainbow orbs and keeping him stunned, or if you just, you know, don't have tanky enough units. weaker units will cost you this fight, simply because if they get supered, they can, you know, tend to lose out and cause too much damage that you can't recover from. As you can see, I literally get super unlucky with stunning. It doesn't happen at all for me this fight, which obviously extends the fight out. In my one run, I had literal footage of this taking like a minute and a half, but I had to redo the run because of my screw up with Pycon. So yeah, that was, you know, clearly fun. But yeah, tried to put Jiren in to get the stun, but it didn't work. So yeah, and then I had to pause the footage, so see, yeah, keep cutting it and coming back in. This Vegeta, if you can get him to normal super attack, you're going to want to do that because you're going to stack the defense, just so you can act as more of a brick wall against Buu, basically. Then we're going to go with B-Pan, and she gets the stun, and all of a sudden we're going to manage to chunk through quite a bit of Buu. As you can see, my little Goten is putting in a lot of work, getting a lot of Rainbow Orbs made, which lets me cut down on the amount of candies that Majin Buu's got on the field at once, which is obviously also going to be very helpful. So yeah, definitely a interesting fight, quite an annoying fight, and yeah, this fight can go one of two ways. Like I say, either you can get multiple stuns and all of a sudden, you know, Majin Buu's not a problem, or you can't get any stuns and he just remains an issue and eventually outweighs you or gets you to the last couple of turns. As you can see, he's relatively tanky, he's got quite a lot of health, and he's healing 2 or 3 bars a turn. That's also just a problem that you're going to have. So yeah, definitely could have gone a lot easier. Could also have gone a lot worse. So from that point of view, just gonna kind of keep the train going. Gonna keep obviously my boy Vegeta on rotation. Gonna use the B-Pan attack buff to just try and keep him down. I know he's gonna heal this turn because he's not stunned. So basically, I just want to try and do that little bit extra damage so that I can just kind of keep on top of him, especially when he's gonna heal. And just keep him in like a killable threshold for next turn. Because as you can see, he gets to the final bar and then he decides to heal up. So that little bit of extra damage is just going to help him kind of stay in that kill zone. And that's going to be kind of where we want to keep him. But yeah, so stun again. Thanks Pan, really doing the Lord's work. And then we're going to finish him off this turn. We're going to have SS3 Vegeta do quite a decent amount of damage. He links fairly well with this God Vegeta, so if you are looking for a linking pairing, God Vegeta's okay. He's been around a while, so you might have a couple dupes in him, and then this Vegeta, when the enemy is critted, can do decent damage. And there we go, that's Buu done. So you'll see me cut again. Doing Ultimate Challenge in one sitting is a little bit difficult, especially, you know, when it's Christmas time and you've got people blowing up their phone and all that. So we go on to Turles, who can't be stunned, can't be sealed, but he can have his attack load. Attack lowering is going to be your best bet if you are doing a slightly weakened team. But in terms of this, because of the strength of these super agility units, there's never really too much of an issue with Turles. A lot of these bosses are not tempered for their typings due to the fact that they're more tactical than they are strength based, like just pure stats, except for Jiren. So a lot of the times it's going to be based more on like, okay, this is, you know, like super agility has an easier run at Turles, for example. But yeah, so I take the free-to-play LR. I like them. They greatly stack defense on their ultimate, so yeah, I like them. They're pretty good. Here comes Vegeta, who does a decent amount of damage and lowers defense, so always helpful to have. And then Goku does a similar thing. It's easier. Goku's helped me out in a lot of content. I do suggest if you don't have him, grab him. He does great damage. He's got very decent defense. Especially for SBR and this kind of Ultimate Challenge content, and he's been around so long, like you can get him pretty much entirely rainbowed with wish stones. Similar to the strength Gogeta, like they eventually are replaced or they have better alternatives, both of them, but you know, the fact that they can still be usable, especially for type-based teams and things like that, is going to make them be able to hang around quite a bit. Yeah, so this Turles didn't pose too much of an issue. Again, super agility is just quite strong, so the Turles himself, like I say, because they're not tempered, just basically gets clattered down by this whole team. This Goku greatly raises defense on Super, so you'll see him take double digits after that. These two also again greatly raise defense for Super and attack, so they're also pretty decent. They would have gone from 70k to about 100k, so yeah, there's nothing too wrong with this team from a free-to-play perspective, or from a chilled perspective. Obviously I'm not using any of the LRs. Super AGL has some of the best LRs in the game, and yeah, but I mean, pretty straightforward. This Buu is pretty good. Used him for the Universe 7 saga and he did really well, so I'm probably gonna use him a lot more in these kind of ultimate challenges videos. He just does a lot of work, brings a lot of utility, a lot of defense. So yeah, that's Turles down. We'll go and take a look next at Dyspo, who will be pretty easy, and then we'll also do Topper afterwards, and then obviously the big battle against Jiren, which is, you know, as always, a thrilling fight. Yeah, this is the physical team, so yeah, the physical team, pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy here. Dyspo does some evasion. It's more a irritant than it is a supreme focus tactic. So yeah, definitely not something that I would say you're going to want to be too concerned about. If I can be honest, it's really not something that I think should be an issue for anyone, and yeah, Dyspo himself is just not too difficult. Vegeta will clear up most of the damage, and yeah, from there we'll just kind of see how everything goes. This Blue Goku is pretty good because he generates orbs. Once you have a couple dupes in him, you can do decent damage and has decent defense, especially after you get a couple orbs. He also stacks defense and attack, which makes him, you know, viable for long-term events. Krillin, obviously I love Krillin. I think he's great. I use him in everything I can. He's so viable, he's so utility-based. Same with the Great Saiyans. They're just great, because if you get them the 18 key, they'll buff your next rotation. And then we'll just, obviously, here we go, we'll kind of do this connection of Kefla and Vegeta. And yeah, you can see me just kind of moving the team around here. Vegeta, obviously I want at the end because he's going to take a lot of those attacks. The orbs fall really nicely. And yeah, pretty straightforward this one. Nothing too hard. Definitely not something I would be concerned about, and definitely can get you that easy win. A lot of these units are wish ticket units nowadays. Kefla, Blue Vegeta. So yeah, you definitely can 100% get the top performance you need by using this kind of team. Krillin is free to play, the Great Saiyan LR is free to play, so yeah, definitely not anything you ever need to worry about. This physical team is just so good. And there we go. Dyspo is the easiest fight, so yeah, but overall, nice, good performance, solid team to use. They've really improved over a while. You can also, if you have the Vegeta Goku LR, the new 120% lead for super physical, definitely helpful as well. Here we're going with the tech team, so with Topper, just basically going to try and use the Hercule, because I kind of like to use them in the content, and just kind of run a majority free-to-play team here. The Vegeta and the Goku are going to be a good combination to have on a single rotation, and obviously Trunks I rate in any event. I just think he's very good.
use him in SBRs and things all the time. I've been working on his link levels, so yeah. And this free-to-play Goku Gohan, I think, are also very good. Just they provide support to Goku's family units, which are obviously very common, and they stack defense, they lower attack, so overall they just do a lot, bring a lot to the party, bring a lot to the table, and I don't think they really let you down in any way, shape or form, especially since they do so much. And yeah, this movie Goku, got new appreciation for him. He's just super useful in so much content. Movie Heroes SBR, the Extreme Tech SBR, just Goku Family SBR. He's just useful in a lot. Does a lot of work. His damage reduction against movie bosses, enemies is really helpful, especially in some of those niche stages. And his ceiling of super attack is also super helpful. So yeah, definitely a viable unit. Hercule is also super nice. I usually pair him with this Oob. They don't link too much, but they make like a decent kind of pairing for me to use. And yeah, just basically like keeping them on rotation because of the double attack lowering and all that, and just basically they help manage things. Hercule, once he gets hits, gains his evasion, and then obviously on his 18 key he greatly stacks defense, so you can really start to get him up to some decent defense. He stacks for 3 turns, so he's one of those units who after 1 or 2 ultra super attacks is going to be sitting very nice defense. And then we have this Vegeta, who I'm going to pair with the Goku, or try to. And we got Trunks. So yeah, you can see here we're just kind of connecting everything. This Candy Vegeta, super helpful. Gets the job done, evasion, all that sort of stuff. Great utility package, and with his EZA he now has a high chance to stun, and he stacks attack and defense. So he's just looking like a really helpful unit to use. He's not got great damage stats, but his evasion and just everything he brings to the table is very good. My one SBR run, you'll see him pretty much evade like 5 attacks in a row after getting hit by a super, which basically saves my run. So yeah, I respect what he brings to the table, and I like what he does in terms of performance. And obviously again we have the Goku Gohan unit doing some work, and then yeah. But so far so good. Nothing too crazy, nothing really throwing out anything here, nothing that shouldn't get us through the victory. We get low, Oob will heal us with his heal and transform. But yeah, so far so good. This team is pretty good. Again, some good free-to-play options in here. Hercule, Oob, Candy Vegeta, Gohan and Goku support units. So yeah, definitely another team that has some free-to-play options that are maybe a bit grindy, like Uber's Battlefield coins, Hercule's a lot of Zany, but the fact that you can kind of bring them all together and use them to perform like this is what makes being a free-to-play player in Dokkan quite nice. You just have options. So here we go, we got Trunks next to Vegeta. We'll just hit this whole kind of row here. You can see I don't bother transforming with Trunks. Main reason being I didn't think we would end it here, but Vegeta and Trunks both have other ideas and do some decent damage, which is fine. I'm not going to complain about finishing early. It's all going to go pretty straightforward. Trunks then comes in and he does 2 super attacks or crits. I think he does the second one, yeah. And then he crits on this one. So yeah. Nice performance overall. Obviously really like my Trunks. 2 million attack stat on a mono team is very good. No matter what anyone tells you. And then 4 minutes steady, pretty decent clear time. Now finally for Jiren. So Jiren is just obviously Jiren. Pretty straightforward. The main way to beat him is attack lowering. So that's going to be what we need to do. And stunning is obviously off the table, ceilings off the table. So yeah, attack lowering is going to be our best point of call, which means we're going to be heavily reliant on our Buuhan here. This Frieza, by the way, I was highlighting him because I want to highlight again how if you're using mono teams, units that have guard as an ability are not going to be as useful in these kind of events where you're fighting a singular type of enemy. The main reason being is guard basically treats it like you have type advantage, but if you have type advantage in the first place, guard just doesn't do anything. So that's basically, you know, why it's not as helpful. But yeah, we'll see how we go from here. Obviously I do manage to beat him. Yeah, that's pretty, you know, the video is up, so but yeah, I wouldn't put the video up if I didn't manage to beat him. You can see I move the Frieza off because he's got no guard, so there's no point. And then I put the LR there, the Prime Battle LR. I'm hoping when this guy gets his ECA, his LRZA, he's gonna really like pop out and just start doing like a whole bunch of extra damage and just have better defense. I think he's a really good option. I'd like to put him on teams and kind of link him up. I think he's great for the extreme in team right now. So yeah, we got the attack lower from Frieza. That is why I bought him. So yeah, that is basically the one reason why I bought him. The attack lowering is really going to help. And then we're going to sit here and we're basically going to be able to run the Janemba and the Buuhan team, the combination. These are a good combination. Basically Buuhan is going to attack lower again, which is pretty good, and then Janemba's got the evasion plus a decent amount of attack. 2 million is nothing to laugh at, and 1.3 with only 2 orbs by Buuhan is pretty good. I was hoping for the double attack lower would have been super helpful, but now Jiren's been attack lowered once or twice. We're going to be able to kind of finish this event. We're going to hopefully avoid taking super attacks and then get another attack lower off. Similarly here, we're going to run this Frieza. He is going to take a super attack, I believe, but it's not going to be the end of the world. Because of the attack lowering that we're doing, the fact that we're getting so many stacks of it going, Jiren's really not hitting as hard. This Frieza stacks defense on his super, so he's gonna generate enough defense. And this Vegeta's got a decent amount of base defense, just simply because he has a passive that works with additives. So when you are doing monotype teams or under lower leads, additive stats, passives really do start to shine a bit more than percentage based. Just simply because when you're sitting at such a lower percentage, you're going to be able to rock a kind of better stat line if you have, you know, units with plus 30,000 or 40,000 defense, etc. Janemba again is going to do some decent damage. He's going to do the evasion, then we'll have Buuhan lower his defense again, and then we'll have the support from the Metal Cooper. Obviously Janemba just dodged to the super attack. It's going to bust out a mean attack stat, and then he's going to finish him off. So Janemba's still super helpful, even though his guard won't be as useful. And that's how you beat Ultimate Challenge. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Obviously it's quite a lot of stones beating it. And yeah, take a look out. There should be a fair amount of content coming out of the channel over the next like day or 2 or 3 days. So yeah, just keep a lookout. All 10 SBR stages will be posted, and I'll be posting an update video and just some event videos. And yeah, cool. See you in the next one. Bye.